Made in the USA. Now then, I must admit that's very nice to see. This is the Buck 303 Cadet. I've just recently acquired this, and I'm very impressed by this knife. It's not very cheap to buy this knife here in the UK, you know, but it's a very well made knife, excellent quality. I think these are retailing for, I forget what I paid now. I think it was kind of £50, maybe something like that. I mean, compared to, say, Victorinox Tinker. This is a small Tinker. You know, you're getting up to kind of 4 times the price. You know, at least 3. Is it worth it? Of course, absolutely. It's a Buck medium stockman. You have a clip point blade. This is the biggest blade on the knife, and that measures, that's like 2.5 inches, 6.5 centimeters. And then a sheep's foot blade, and I would class this more of a pen blade. But yeah, definitely worth it. Great knife. Why do I like this knife? This is another knife which kind of disappears in the pocket. You know, you don't really know you're carrying it, yet it's still a manageable size. You know, you can still do some serious cutting with this. You know, it's get a good grip on it. It's quite thick. You know, there's an individual liner for each knife, which makes it quite thick, so it produces a nice handle. You can get a good hold on it. It's also very light. Let's have a check on that now. That's 56 grams. That's exactly 2 ounces. So, very light. You don't really notice you have it on you. And, you know, it just looks cool. I love this knife also. Absolutely great knife. But I just find, that's the other thing I like about the Buck. That reminds me. These knives, the weighting of the spring has been done very nicely. I don't know if all the knives are the same. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. You know, but this is my first Buck Stockman, and you know, it's very smooth from beginning to end to open that. There's no snap on the end. Now, some people I know like that, but it makes it more difficult to open the knife because of the tension. Whereas with this, you know, I know I can open this easily. I know I can also close it very easily. One smooth motion. Same with all the other knives. You know, nice and smooth again. And I'm starting to feel that I prefer having a slightly what's that called? A slightly softer back spring. Now, compared to the Victorinox Soldier, now if you're aware of these have a very strong snap on the back spring. Now, I suppose that's good for a lot of users. If you're doing a lot of heavy work, you might feel safer knowing that the blade is slightly more locked in place. But But I've always said that, you know, if you're careful with these slip joint knives and you use them properly and you don't do any back and forth movements while kind of piercing or anything like that, you always tend to use a knife in this direction, which puts pressure on keeping the knife open. You know, if you use a knife properly, you shouldn't have any problems. In a tactical scenario, yeah, okay, that might be different, but I don't really have any need for using a knife in a tactical scenario, especially in the UK, given the UK knife laws and, you know, not being able to carry a locking knife. So I'm just I have to resort to slip joints with non-locking blades. So, but for me, the Victorinox Pioneer is the closest you can get to kind of having a locking knife. I mean, it's almost the pressure you have to put on these to close them. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, sometimes I don't even like pushing this thing closed like that because I'm worried that when it does give, it may go too far and end up on my finger. So I try to pinch it closed and then I can let it go. And again, a lot of pressure on there to have to do that. And it's just nice to know with a knife like this, I can simply deploy the knife open without having to put any heavy pressure on it. And you know, that's very nice. It's I would describe this as a kind of a gentleman's pocket knife in that respect. You know, pleasure to use. I'm not fighting with it. It's not fighting with me. It's saying, yes, you want to put me into action? Let's go. I'm ready for you. So, yeah, that'll be the Book 303 Cadet.